Welcome to District 32 Radio. I'm Jackie Campbell. Now, my next guest needs very little introduction if you are a W-based person who even thinks about owning an air conditioner. I am extremely excited today to be joined by Andy Ford of the Ford and Doonan fame, I believe, sir.
Many thanks, Jackie. Thanks for having me here.
Absolutely. Now, we're not going to talk about Ford and Doonan.
That's fine.
We're going to talk about something incredibly exciting, your new venture, which is brilliant. But I had all these notes about Ford and Doonan, so now I'm on the back foot. What do I do?
Oh, we'll take you through a little bit of the journey of Ford and Doonan, if you like, just a quick one.
Just to sort of kind of make me feel happy, that'd be brilliant.
Yeah. Okay, so I started the business when I was 19, just finished my trade apprenticeship, refrigeration air conditioning, met my business partner, still current business partner. It was a miracle after 32 years.
I know, that itself needs the whole topic of the conversation.
It does, doesn't it? Let's not go down there. And we concocted a pretty ill-conceived plan of starting a business working for ourselves, and we knew absolutely nothing. It was so naive, and you learn pretty quickly when you're burning your own money. So we put $500 each into the bank, and Ford and Doonan was born back in 1985.
$500 in 1985 was a lot more than $500 today.
It is, but it certainly wasn't overcapitalised.
No, especially for a 19-year-old and a 20-year-old.
Yes, indeed.
My goodness. Now, my notes here, if I may, have got you starting a business at age 19 in 1985. 1987, you've moved into Campbell Street, then you've expanded into Wellington Street, hired your first employees just 4 years in.
Yep.
5 years later, you've got your first small business award with less than 6 employees.
Yes.
3 years later, with 15 employees, you've got your second small business award, and you won Small Business of the Year overall.
Correct.
Then a year later, you're suddenly on the Business Review Weekly's, 100 growing companies list, which you followed that on for the next 3 years. By the time you get to 2001, just sort of 16 years into the business, you've got your 4th entry into Business Review Weekly. You've won your 3rd Small Business Award with less than 50 employees. And you've become overall runner-up in the 40 under 40.
Yeah.
Now, from what I understand, you're going into teaching and coaching entrepreneurship.
Yes, indeed, yeah.
I'd suggest that's reasonably qualified to do so, sir.
I'd like to think so, but the proof's in the pudding, isn't it?
It is. Now, that's in 16 years you've managed to achieve that.
Mm-hmm.
My next question is, who on earth's idea was it to franchise after that? Because you've barely drawn breath.
Well, yeah, I think we realised the challenges if we wanted to keep expanding with the challenge of owning company stores and the management remotely.
Yeah.
And we had also what really not forced us, but has encouraged us to do franchising, is a lot of our key managers could see that we'd done all right and they were part of our success, but they wanted to create their own. And you could see them looking at being restless about going out and starting their own business. So, of course, we'd train them, so we didn't want to become competitors. So this is a way encapsulating and making everyone happy. We could expand. They could still have their own autonomy of their own business, and we're all on the same team.
Fantastic. And did you find that provided a sensible solution? Would you advise that that's a good way for businesses to expand, or did it have its own challenges?
Had its own challenges. Again, we just learnt the hard way. We obviously had lawyers draft all the franchise agreements, but a lot of it is just trial and error. But it's not as hard as what as many people think. I do want to say that. So it was a great way that suited us, because that industry is quite complicated in the sense that we're not just dropping off a box and the client opens it and plugs it in. We've got to install it, and there's the hassles of site and issues.
It's not a TV.
It's not a TV.
TVs.
I wish it was. So, we're scaling up in our business is quite challenging due to all those intricacies, and we've also got multiple departments. We've got a service department, installation department, commercial department. So all these different divisions also have their own characteristics. So by virtue of franchising, it allowed us to not focus on the detail, but allow us to focus on the big picture of keeping on the growth.
Right, so you were able to establish, I suppose, a framework, almost a recipe to say, look, hey, we know this works. If you want to jump on board, this is great. This is not exactly how you have to have every conversation, but this is the Ford and Doonan way.
Correct, spot on. And the good thing about also a lot of our franchisees, which still are our franchisees now that used to work for us, is they took with them the company culture. So it wasn't like they were coming from outside with preconceived ideas of how they should run their business. It's very much we'd already indoctrinated them, which made the whole system. And by the size, we grow more powerful in a way because we've got combined marketing resources, meaning we can sort of virtually outspend a lot of our competitors due to the size of the group.
Sure, absolutely. So moving from running what a lot of people would term a real business into the world of entrepreneurship, I would argue that what you've been doing by any other name as really entrepreneurship, because it's the way that you approach something perhaps rather than necessarily what you're actually doing. But what has been the biggest challenge there? Switching from here's your air conditioner, this is how it plugs into the wall, gas goes here, plug goes there, or look, it gets cold, to your entrepreneurship ideas?
Yeah, well, you said, I think I sort of like to consider myself an entrepreneur with the risks and the challenges that we overcome in our journey. So I just really, it's a part of me wanting to give back, because the business industry has been really good to me, the business community, and I just know so many other people may not even realise they've got what it takes, and they just have that fear of failure or the fear of the unknown, and that's what I'm trying to overcome by my coaching.
Okay, so more of a I did, you can?
Exactly right, and just prove it's not that hard, and the stumbling blocks that they're coming up against, I've come up against most of them myself, so I can help them go around them or over the top of them.
Absolutely,
yep, and save them a few pitfalls.
So what's on offer there?
Well, I'm very, very busy, so I certainly don't want to come across as I'm a business coach, because it's not what I'm chasing, is to dive into it, their businesses, and spend a lot of time in there.
But business coach is such a throwaway line these days.
It is there, yeah. And many of them, with due respect, I'm sure there's many good ones out there. Many of them are following a manual of I'm sure a successful manual, but they're not necessarily have done it and can overcome everything.
I've met so many business coaches who've never run a business. That's the only business they run. How can you help me?
I've often asked that, but I'm not trying to be disparaging.
No, clearly, with Ford and Doonan, you've got the runs on the board. You've been successful in so many different areas. What are you actually offering here? Is it a handhold? Is it here, wear my coat for a while, see what it feels like? What do you reckon? How's it going to go?
Really good question, Jackie. I suppose what I want to do is be able to establish, because obviously everything starts with a plan, in this case a business plan. And business plans, you can write fluffy duffy ones, 50 pages with lots of graphics and colours, but a lot of it is rubbish, with due respect. So again, I like a business plan that's about 3 pages, not 50.
Absolutely. Yep. Why am I doing this?
Yeah,
yep.
So what I thought the initial services with my time restraints in mind is I could send out a draft business plan of the key bits I think they should include. They then complete it, send it back, and I found I've got quite a skill at reviewing business plans and be able to pick holes in them. Like a basic one is, have they got enough gross profit in their business to even expand?
Yep. Constructive holes, of course.
Of course.
We're
taught in EO Entrepreneurs Organisation in Gestalt language. So it's not like you should do this, it's like, have you considered this?
Have you considered
this?
Okay, so if someone now obviously goes, hang on a minute, this is something I want to do. This guy has clearly got the runs on the board. I think he could definitely help me.
Yep.
How do they go about that?
Well, I'm just about to build my website now, we're about a month too early, Jackie.
That's okay,
I was going to rattle that off.
We can hold this over for a month. That's fine.
So really, you can contact me at Ford and Doonan for any interim advice. It's Andy at FDair, so it's a very simple email address, Andy with a Y at fdair.com.au. So that's probably the easiest way to contact me for now, but very soon you'll be seeing me on Facebook and a bit more of a digital social media marketing.
Fantastic. So if we send you to Andy at fdair.com.au with a title that says, please help me.
Perfect, Jackie.
At least then we won't get lost in the air conditioning stuff.
It won't, yes.
Fantastic. Thank you. I'm sure you'll be flooded with things and you'll have to give up Ford and Doonan and leave it to your grandchildren.
Well, maybe, that's semi-retirement.
Semi-retirement. Transitioning. We like that. Transitioning.
I like that word better.
No worries at all. Great. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Jackie.